Hi everyone, welcome. How are you? Hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. It is super sunny again here in San Francisco. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are having a great Monday so far and a great week so far. Mondays are so fun for me and just like always fill me up with a lot of excitement for the week and everything there is to accomplish. So I'm excited to be here with you guys today. I am going to be covering a topic that I believe it was Ashleen asked about in a post I put in the group a couple days ago about what you guys wanted to see and what type of content you needed from me. So today's topic is all about how to find out what your audience actually wants from you. So to find out what kind of topics that are going to interest them, find out what is going to inspire them, find out what's going to be great in terms of SEO, like what are people actually looking for? And obviously it's going to be different depending on your blog topic and your niche and all of that good stuff, but it's good to kind of have, an idea of what they actually want other than what you see other people posting or other than what you want, which like are also good indicators, because obviously if you see someone with a very popular blog posting about a specific topic and getting a lot of great feedback, then obviously if they're within the same niche, it's probably a good one, but there's other ways to find out too that are going to be a little bit more effective. And this is also going to apply to you even if you maybe don't have an audience yet, or it's really small, or they're not super engaged. There are still ways to kind of find out what your ideal audience is looking for. So I'm going to really stay on topic for this one today, but I can do another live this week if you guys want to know how to find out who your audience is. It's definitely the first step. So if you don't know who your audience is, it is going to require some preparation and some work to kind of figure out who they are and what they're looking for and what their needs are. I can definitely do a whole other video on that if that's something that interests you. If you're watching the replay or hopping on live, definitely feel free to let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. But today I'm just going to talk about the things you can do when you have an audience, or when you already know who your audience is going to be, even if you don't necessarily have them yet. So the first thing that you can do, if you already have an audience, even if it's small, and you already have a mailing list, something that I like to do, or you can also leave the link on your social media if you don't have a mailing list, if that's not where your audience lives, if they're on Facebook, if you have a Facebook page or group, if you have, obviously your Instagram, your Twitter, whatever you have, you can create a survey. Through SurveyMonkey is what I use. There's obviously different websites. I like SurveyMonkey. I find it really easy. And you can send out the link and be like, hey, everyone, please go here. It'll take you less than 5 minutes. These are 3 questions I have for you based on, what kind of content I'm trying to think up for you. I want to know what you want. I want to know what interests you. And you can kind of create a short survey that really targets the things that you have rolling around your head. So think about, what have you been thinking of creating? What kind of content are you interested in writing for them? And then you can kind of just formulate 3. I say 3 because even if you can do less than that, like 2 to 3 questions max, just because when you say that it's going to take less than 5 minutes, you want to be honest. Nobody's going to want to fill out a 20-question survey about what, they're looking for from you content-wise. So make sure that it's really specific and targeted to the ideas you already have, to see if that's something that would actually interest them. So a survey is a really good way to do it. The next way that you can really find out what your audience is looking for, and this is good for those of you who maybe either just started blogging or haven't yet but have the idea and want to and just aren't sure exactly, like who your audience is, but you don't know exactly what to create for them and you're kind of having some writer's block, you can go into Facebook groups, which I know obviously you guys are in this group, you're in other groups. So you're probably already familiar with this, but I see in tons of groups that I'm a part of, people are always asking like, hey, just wondering, like, would you guys be interested in this? And these people aren't even necessarily leaving a call to action, like, we'll sign up for this here. It's not even like a freebie or an opt-in type thing. They're just asking, like, if I were to create this, who would be interested? If you are interested, leave an emoji or whatever the case may be. Or you can say, like, you could do a poll. You can ask, would you be more interested in this topic versus this topic? Whatever the specifics are to you and to your niche, but you can definitely use these groups as research groups almost and kind of find your audience that way. And if you're not in a Facebook group or you're kind of new to that whole scene, it's overwhelming. There's tons of different ones, but you can get really specific by topic, by niche, like what you're writing about. You can really find your audience there and just search for groups on Facebook. So like if you're someone who writes about motherhood, you can search, I'm not a mom, so I don't know, I'm not a part of any of those groups, but I can imagine that it's endless how many groups there are for mothers and that are about motherhood and things like that. So you could totally find stuff like that. And I would say those kind of questions where you're just asking for feedback and asking for ideas and what everybody thinks of a certain topic idea, typically those aren't going to be against any of the rules that I see that are typically in place for Facebook groups. So it's a really great best practice to kind of jump in where your audience is living, so to speak, on the internet, and say like, hey, like, what do you guys think of this? Let me know. There's also the poll version, poll option on Instagram stories that you can use. So there's definitely different ways you can kind of reach out to people who may not be your followers yet, but you can kind of, that they're going to be your audience anyway, maybe not them specifically, but that type of person is going to be your ideal audience. So you can kind of reach out to them and kind of get some feedback and do research that way. And then there was one more. Oh, perfect. So the last thing, and I've talked about this recently, I was talking about 3 ways that you can boost your traffic. That video is here in the group if you want to check it out. It's from, I believe, last week. And a couple of the things I talked about was really relying heavily on your analytics to increase your traffic. And that's definitely part of finding out what your audience actually wants and being able to attract them to the content that you're creating. So being able to look at your analytics through Google Analytics, that's connected to your website, Instagram Analytics, Pinterest Analytics, you just have to have business accounts. That can be super helpful without you actually having to ask anyone. Again, this is going to be for someone who isn't necessarily a beginner, like maybe you've had your blog for a little while, a few months at least, or even shorter than that, but this is definitely not for someone who hasn't started a blog because you won't have these things set up. But once you do, if that's who you are right now, that's the stage you're in, you can really use these tools to understand what's going to be most exciting for your audience, what's going to be what people are really drawn to, like what posts and what types of content do your readers spend the most time on. So session duration, like how long are they on that specific page? If they're not on that page for very long, then like chances are that topic isn't really of interest to them. So thinking about it like that, using your analytics, using the numbers to kind of tell their own story and to thread it together, but also making that human connection through Facebook groups, through social media. And then if you already have a small audience or a big audience, whatever the case may be, using surveys and letting people know that it's super fast. Another thing for surveys that you can do too is you can kind of like incentivize it. If you have a Facebook group or something, for example, or an email list, you can let people know that like maybe you're giving away like a free digital resource for, and all they have to do to enter is to fill out the survey. Like if you feel like they're not going to want to do it for whatever reason, you could try something like that. And so that way you're giving them something for free, like maybe a free worksheet or a free resource or something digital, something that's easy for you to do too. That's not like actual huge gift, but just something small to kind of show your appreciation. So yeah, those are my 3 tips for finding your audience, even if you're a beginner or if you're someone who's been doing it for a while in terms of blogging. So surveys, posting on social media and in Facebook groups, even if those people aren't your followers yet, you can find them that way. And then also relying on your numbers and your analytics to really tell the story of how it's going. Because the thing with blogging is that a lot of times like it's 2 different parts of like ourselves. Like it's the creative, inspired writer part of ourselves. And then it's also, the numbers, the analytical, the strategic part. And maybe that's not something we're as in tune with because as a writer, we're very artistic and creative, right? So it can be hard to kind of look at the numbers, but the numbers will never lie to you. So that's something to keep in mind too. Analytics can be really powerful in their own way. And obviously for business, hugely critical and useful. I hope that kind of answers your questions. I hope that this is useful for you. I'm really trying to hop on here every single day to cover a different topic that interests you guys or that you really need support with, and just doing short little videos like this that aren't super long or super in depth. Of course, I can do those as well, just depending on your needs, but just kind of showing up to help you guys with what is going on in your business right now. So in the comments, if you're watching the replay, say hello. Let me know if you have any comments or questions about today's topic. And then also please let me know if there's anything that you've been struggling with in your blogging business or something you want to learn more about, because I'm happy to go live and cover the topic for you. I will be back tomorrow, probably around the same time. I'll let you guys know tomorrow morning. And I hope you guys are having an amazing Monday, and I will see you soon. Bye.